Here we go.
Is he going to show us his long one?
Do you guys want to hear 2 short jokes and 1 long one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Joke.
It's a conspiracy!
Anyway, that's the joke. Yeah. No, totally. I know. The little cerebral on there,
You
right?
can't put that on this episode because now I want to use it.
You can use it, man. Absolutely.
So
Jeez,
good.
oh man.
That is, yeah. No, I saw that.
How much you pay for that?
I heard that the other day, and I'm like, oh, golden. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Episode 7.
The Force Awakens. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy, the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I don't claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today. I'm simply interested in finding out what it is that supporters of these theories believe. All of the information gathered for this was done online and is probably wrong, as usual, because... I'm still in holiday mode. I almost said Hollywood mode. Hollywood mode. I'm always in Hollywood mode, but
I'm in Hollywood mode.
I'm still in. It's like halfway through January, and I'm still like, hey, let's have a little Bailey's in our coffee. It's 9 a.m. That's fine.
I do that every day.
Yeah.
Well, man.
Right, just switch
Well, not every day, but
Just switch from Bailey's to Scotch. Back to Bailey's.
back to Bailey's.
Then add some Scotch in my Bailey's and some Bailey's in my Scotch.
And the other thing was I've discovered a new thing about myself, and I need to curb this pronto. So every time I sat down to do this, I'd be like, oh, there's that other thing I have to do. And then I'd start doing that. I'm like, oh, there's that more urgent thing I have to do. And then I'd start doing that. And then an even more urgent thing would pop up. And in the end, I just ran around thinking of urgent things I had to do. And I didn't get anything done. I just ran around like having a sweaty pan attack
Like
all
a
day.
chicken with its head cut off.
Yeah, oh, God. And
my.
yeah, lastly, C, these things, well, actually, no, sorry, this isn't the last one. C, these things change all the time, and it's hard to know what they will look like in the future. You never know. Like, there's an update on the Gatwick drone patrol.
It's true.
It happened again.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah.
Eagles, man.
The Eagles, they should have got those Eagles out there.
Drones 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And lastly, D, as a podcast, we adopted some puppies.
Oh,
We did?
I know. Yes.
Where's my fucking
Where are
problem?
they?
I'll come back to the puppies in a minute here. Joining me, as always, are my good friends Charlie and Greg. These 2 pieces of sweet, creamy masculinity will be presented with some theories and will interject saucily. Charlie manned the console, but didn't participate in the actual drinking during our YEG crossover Centurion.
Hey, don't call me out.
So he's pretty much labeled himself as outside of the circle of trust. But Greg, like a champ, threw himself right in there.
Man.
Yeah, dude. How was your hangover?
I was great, actually. I had to wake up early and do life stuff, like a job interview.
That's-
You had to have a job. You had a job interview the next
Oh, yeah,
morning.
man. I walked in, like, I had the job already, but it was like a formality, like, sit down, chat with people.
Wow.
But I sat there and I had to keep my toque on because I was just sweating bullets. and it
man.
was the only way that you just, like, could keep the sweat from, like, not showing. Oh, man, it was not good.
Outstanding.
If someone had put their hand on your toque, it would have just been like,
Oh, it would have been that. And I wore, like a black shirt over a black shirt.
yeah.
You weren't catching anything.
Actually, people, there's like a lot of myths around. I'm a very sweaty guy myself, and one of the myths around Johnny Cash is like, oh, he's the man in black because it's all about oppression. He was a sweaty
man.
guy, and he wore black because you can't see.
Well, it's harder to see.
Yeah, it's harder to see.
And when it
the
all
crack of your pants getting all juicy. Yeah,
well, that's a dark black right there.
that's really dark black. Yeah. I think I'm still hungover. I'm having a beer right now, and this is the first beer I've had.
You
since,
were
and
so drunk.
I was. Yeah.
I just remember the last thing, and somehow you getting in your van to drive away.
I didn't drive home.
No, you didn't drive.
No,
Sorry.
you didn't drive, but
No.
you were in the passenger seat,
Yeah,
and those other
yeah.
guys like
Yeah, your designated driver.
My designated driver.
the
Thank you.
drive your car home guys. But you were like hanging out the window of the passenger's seat, and you were just like, "Bye, I love you guys. Bye, see you later."
I had a really good time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, you were almost woo girl.
That's I got a little woo girl in it. That's fine. We are releasing that. It's January 14th. We're releasing that tomorrow. That's coming out in a couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to hear
They're
this
not
for a
gonna notice
long
that, yeah.
time.
This will come out February 1st, but I'm just
you
excited.
guys already heard-
Like the
you
Super
guys-
Bowl is closer to that episode.
They've
It is, yeah.
They've already heard the Centurion. They've re-listened to it 7 or 8 times.
Oh man, I
already.
hope so.
And
Everybody
downloaded
should listen to
10
all the
again.
episodes on all the platforms,
Get
and then
enough.
yeah, then we'll get some sweet sponsorship money. Yeah. Speaking of which, the Centurion at the end, all of us except for Rylan from History of Punk were just totally schmammered.
He was really held together.
It was unreal. He was more sober than when he came in.
Yeah.
Like it was unreal.
Ooh, he's like the Benjamin Button of drinking.
Yeah. Well, his name's Rylan, but he's actually a Cylon. Is that kind of
Cylon?
Yeah, he's more of a Cylon because he's just a drinking robot.
Bit of a stretch.
Yep. So we did a few title sequences for our participating podcasts. I was too drunk for ours to work. It just sounded like a bunch of jabbering crap. I'm like, but my, did the one for learning to listen turn out well. And there's only one way to put it, where this is the kind of magic that happens when you get like 9 geeks really drunk in a short amount of time. And just some magic happening.
It was
here.
beautiful.
Yeah, so we're gonna stick in that clip if that's cool, just right here.
Gonna do that right here?
Yeah, and that's the learning to listen. That's Charlie's Judas podcast, and it's fantastic.
That's my OG podcast, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could be like our sister podcast.
It is our sister. It's our friend podcast. Yeah.
All
you guys
right,
doing this?
you've been listening to Learning to Listen.
One is made out of skin, the other is made out of lies. Just kidding. You're listening to the Learning to Listen podcast.
I loved how Adult Swim it was,
Oh,
if that makes sense.
whoever's doing
Yeah.
that low scary voice like it is just so funny. I got a clip put together of that where it's on that for about an hour.
Hey, that's right. And it was brought to us by Ryan Hegedus. That's Ryan Hegedus. 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 Hey! Hegedus. 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 Hey!
Yeah.
And I listened to like a good 45 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is just so great. Did you really? Yeah, it's just hilarious. You just put it on, and I was working on something, and I'm like, this. It's just magnetic.
You who are so against whistling.
I don't know why I got so incensed about whistling, but it's not whistling. I can't whistle for one, so maybe that's why that.
You're just
really,
an anti-whistling?
It really incensed
Nah,
me.
he's got whistle envy.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a whistle envy thing, but it's like there was it's on our Patreon as a bit of bonus content where
That's a good clip too.
yeah, Trent was saying he's gonna whistle us to sleep, and I snapped and I started yelling at him, and I got a little upset about that. I'm not sure
It
why.
was amazing. That's another brilliant moment of
Yeah, that's the rage. If that had happened at a social gathering, like not recorded, it would have been like, "What's Andrew's problem? Like, has he got?
Yeah, it would have been super abrupt.
Should we?
everybody would have been like, whoa.
Yeah, intervention
Time for a timeout.
Yep, he must be drinking human growth hormone,
That's why.
and that's why I'm growing.
Now it all comes
all
together.
coming together. God. Ready then. So if you would like to keep an eye, speaking of our Patreon, if you'd like to keep an eye on the goings on at It's a Conspiracy, then please check out our Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy, our Facebook group It's a Conspiracy, our Instagram It's a Conspiracy Podcast, which is being run really well.
Thank you.
Our email It's a Conspiracy at protonmail.com. And also those puppies I mentioned, if you would like us to feed them, then you have to donate to the Patreon, because otherwise they're going to starve to death.
Do
Do you want Spot to starve to death? Do
Wait. Do they have names?
You got to give them names.
Spot and Little Rex and Three-Legged.
And dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scraps.
Scrappy.
And Illusions.
How many do you have? How many puppies
sorry.
are they killing?
And Kylo Ren. That's 2 of them. Yeah.
Kylo and Ren.
We can forget about him now.
And Quinn Clark. That's another 2. So I'm going to change the format here a little bit. If you...
We've already been going for like 15 minutes.
What's going on?
If you'd like to check out any of the stuff that we wrote about this, it's going to be in the episode description, the links to blah, blah, blah. Usually I ask Charlie with a yes or no if he's familiar with these things, but this time we're going to change things up just a little bit. So, so Charlie, I'm going to ask you 2, and then Greg, I'm going to ask you 1. Okay. So, Charlie, with a yes or a no, can you tell me if you're familiar with these things here? Number 1, the Illuminati cloning centers.
I wish I was.
Yes or no?
No. Okay. I believe it.
Number 2, the unicorns of North Korea.
Yes.
Okay, Greg.
Why didn't you ask me about that one? I don't know shit about that.
Mine.
Well, it's coming up. And there's a reason why I didn't ask Charlie about this one. So number 3, Greg.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of the Ultimate Warrior Switcheroo?
Yes.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Holy man.
Nice. Took me a moment, but yeah.
Okay. So
What's the Ultimate Warrior?
Fuck yeah.
Our first topic here is the Illuminati cloning centers plus murder and the Illuminati clones. I'm not sure. Okay.
That got confusing.
So much for your Hollywood vibe.
I know, totally. Actually, I was going to start with a joke about clones, but I thought you guys might copy it. Actually, okay, that's the funny thing. So today I was writing this.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah. That's the pants pissing hilarious part. But there's another really funny thing. So I earlier I was writing this out and I was talking to my phone. I'm like, hey Siri, blah, blah, blah. And I said, because sometimes Siri comes up with crazy stuff. And I'm like, hey Siri, what's a good clone joke? And Siri was like, here is a good clown joke. Yeah.
As your Siri just starts to
I just activated my Siri here. But anyways, I was like, hey Siri, what's a good clone joke? And Siri's like, did you mean clown joke? And I'm like, yeah, I did.
Sure, whatever you got for me.
Yeah. And
what'd she say?
Well, that's the thing with clowns. It's like girls will be like, I want a guy who's all funny and, spontaneous and like taps on my window at night. But the minute you do it dressed up as a clown, it's all screams and she's calling the police.
Is that what Siri said?
No, that's not what Siri said.
Oh, that's just okay. That's just what you said.
Yeah, that was Siri actually just was like, did you mean clown joke? And I was like, do you have a clown joke? And it's like, I don't understand the question. I'm like, how do you lead with that?
Why do you do this to me, Siri?
She called me, teasing me like that. Okay, anyway, so for years it has been widely circulated that there are famous people who have either worked with doubles of themselves, had clones made of themselves, have been a clone themselves, or perhaps died or were murdered and replaced by a clone. In this era of super intense social media, it's almost becoming a rite of passage for a celebrity or political figure to be the center of one of these theories once they hit a certain level of fame. All right, so in 2011, Donald Marshall, that's a great name, revealed to the world that he was born in a birthing tube and raised in a British cloning station that was run by none other than Queen Elizabeth herself. Marshall claims that one day while cloning about, he discovered that the entire operation... I'm sorry, I really... Oh,
you really dialed it.
You are on fire tonight. On fire.
I'm going to try that again. Okay. Oh, such a... Damn it. Okay, I can do this without laughing. Marshall claims that one day while cloning about, he discovered that the entire operation was being run by a collective made up of the Freemasons, a group called the Vril Society, whom we'll come back to, the Scientologists, and the Illuminati. The Illuminati are actually the main players in charge of these centers, and they use them for their secret meetings with the G20 leaders. And these facilities are apparently gigantic and look similar to football stadiums. So when you see one, you're like, oh, that's just another bloody football stadium. Yeah. But it's actually a G20 / cloning center.
With a workout center.
With a workout place, yeah. Keep fit. Yeah.
Olympic-sized pool.
Yeah. Well, clones got to work out.
Yeah, man.
The Marshall claims that the cloning angle began after the Second World War and may have been originally initiated as a means of repopulating the Earth after a mass extinction event, but it has since turned into a matter of entertainment, so gladiator-style fights. sexual perversions, Charlie, ritual sacrifices, birth control, etc.
I'll take the first two. Anyways, it seems good.
In recent years, a financial angle has popped up where the wealthy have had clones of themselves made in the event that they need a new kidney, liver, set of eyes, sense of rhythm, that kind of stuff.
Or they produce too many podcasts.
They make too many podcasts. Yeah. Oh, just the daily, that laundry doesn't get done by itself.
Man, it's like multiplicity.
It'd be amazing. Yeah. And we're going to, it's funny you should mention that because there's a multiplicity thing coming up here. But if you think about it, that thing with the wealthy people having clones made of themselves in case they need the parts, I guess. Do you guys remember that movie, The Island?
Oh, with Ewan McGregor?
With Ewan McGregor.
And ScarJo?
Yeah. And ScarJo, yeah.
That was not a bad movie.
No. Well, that's because the Illuminati was produced. They had a hand in producing the movie The Island, and apparently that's a very accurate portrayal of what is actually happening at these centers.
Oh.
Yeah. In any event, in the tell-all post, Marshall is quoted as saying, "The political people start to bring in movie stars and musicians there to hang around with them. They're able to control who remembers the cloning facility and will remain oblivious, though not remembering still damages you." So if you're like brought there and they take away your rememberies, they'll hurt your brains. Yeah.
So the people that visit there to get their clone lose their memories?
No, the people that get cloned lose their memories.
That's what I just said.
What?
You mean the clones that are from there lose the memory of being there?
No, the people that are brought there, if they've been there and they get that memory of being there taken away, it damages.
All right, let's say I go get a clone. I'm the one that's getting my memory wiped.
Maybe.
That's funny because Greg's not going to remember going there to get cloned.
Yeah, so how am I going to
he's going to go back again to get cloned because he's like, oh shit, I still got to go get cloned.
Well, yeah, and then
that's going to get wiped.
Yeah,
this is not going to end.
It's a Men in Black. I mean, the more we think about it, the less sense it makes. But yeah, basically, if you went there and you're like, I need a clone made of myself, they could zap you so you forget about it.
Oh, so like I might not get a clone.
You might not get a clone, but then you're in the hospital and you're like, I'm this rare blood type and my bladder's failing. I've wet my pants again.
Oh, and then they would step in and be, hey,
like,
we can help you.
We got a spare bladder for you, buddy.
Ooh.
Although we don't think your bladder's the actual problem.
It's the liver.
Yeah, maybe ease up on those centurions already.
You only need like half of your liver to live. So.
Oh. You know what was glorious though? In the middle of the Centurion, we were drinking. There was a couple good beers, and then there was that like raspberry sour stuff that was.
To me that was delicious.
Oh, what?
Wow. I like sour beers though.
He was the champion of that one. He kept grabbing up everybody else's.
It was nasty. But
and then they brought in Guinness.
And you're not a Guinness guy.
No.
I feel sorry for like your olfactory. Their whole.
I like stouts. I just don't like Guinness.
Oh, I love Guinness so much. That was just a shining beacon of hope. I was like, I don't think I can finish this. And then John's like, here's a Guinness, my wee lad. And just, oh.
Actually, he ended up doing a cider after the Guinness, and that's what saved me.
Yeah, the cider was great.
Yeah.
And then Quinn went on a rant about Magners. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
You want to hear more? Listen to the episode.
Yeah, there's some good jokes in there. Yeah. And a great rap quiz. Punch.
Hip hop. And it didn't stop.
No, it didn't stop.
Not the fun.
Okay, sorry. Money aside, Marshall has stated that the cloning center in England is particularly bad. It has become a depraved center of sexual deviance, murder, and manipulation. He claims the royal family keeps the real children of parliament members and G20 leaders in the facility as a means of controlling world events, sacrificing people in rituals, cannibalism, torture, and so forth. So yeah, they're just up to no good. Marshall clarified a few things about the process, and this is where multiplicity comes in. Number one, each clone copy decreases in mental capacity. So you can only clone yourself so many times. Yeah.
Wasn't the problem in multiplicity that
he cloned a clone of a clone?
He cloned a clone, and
you can't make a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
So you're saying I can get as many good number ones. My clones won't get any good number ones.
No, you can.
No, they just get number twos.
Your clone number one will be fine. Clone number two will be like, all right. Clone number three will be special.
See, that doesn't make sense because they're using the same genetic, like the same sample.
Hey, once again, I don't make the rules.
Unless it's because I'm just getting shittier as I get older.
Maybe they take something out of you when they clone you, and you only have so much of that source. Yeah, they take something like from your balls.
Like your pubes.
Sorry, moratorium on pubes. Okay, sorry. Just like twins, just like scientifically documented cases of twins, if you torture a person's clone, the original can feel it. Just like twins. Clones can be pre-programmed to be super obedient. So if someone is being defiant, then that person can be murdered, replaced with a clone, and things will just fall in line, tickety-boo.
Wait, wasn't that last episode?
That was the Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not a clone.
I'm an assassin.
Yeah, I'm an assassin. I'll rip your heart out and show it to you before you die. Yeah. Oh. And to further clone obedience, as all the pros know, if you really want to keep the clones under your thumb, all you have to do is kill the original copy.
That's vampires.
Once again, if you think about it, it starts to come apart. Clones are notoriously obedient and apparently are all aware of who their original is, who the original copy is, and who made them. So they know, like, I'm a clone of so-and-so. They know who the alpha clone is, and they know, like, what order they're in and who's responsible for them being cloned in the clone place. In this world of subterfuge, Marshall found an unlikely ally. The clone of pop sensation Britney Spears.
Nice.
Yeah.
You leave Britney alone.
She comes out really good in this. Okay. So the original Britney Spears, along with Charlie's favorite singer, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hung out with Chris Stapleton.
He died in a car accident. The clone of Justin Timberlake.
Oh, that's who hung out.
Yeah,
with Stapleton.
Jimberlake hung out with Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
He's not a clone. He's a regular guy.
Yeah, he's probably a clone too.
Ooh.
And he's also hanging out with Jimberlake. Is Jimberlake a thing? Because it should be. And
Jimberlake?
Crampleton.
Why are you calling him Jimberlake?
I'm just trying to combine their names because people are like...
You could be Folake.
Yeah, no, okay. Anyways, Britney Spears died in a car accident with Justin Timberlake in 1998, shortly after her debut album was released. She was replaced by a clone, probably one who'd been copied a few too many times. Got her. And the clone was unhappy with the situation and wanted to reveal to the world what was happening. This is why the whole well-publicized breakdown of Britney Spears, like she shaved her head and all that stuff. Because her clone was like, I've had enough of this. So the plan was very simple. Donald Marshall, who also happened to be an aspiring musician and lyricist, and he's a clone himself. Did I mention that?
No, that's like I'm just assuming everybody you talk about right now is a clone.
Yeah, everybody's a clone. So Donald Marshall's like...
Wouldn't you said he's the one who was birthed from a test tube?
He was birthed from a tube.
He says he's birthed from a test tube?
That's how all the clones are made. They come out of the birthing tubes.
But he claims to be the first or something?
He's not the first.
No,
he doesn't.
He just knows that he was born in a
He's
test
like,
tube.
I'm a clone of someone.
Cool.
And again, his rule was everybody knows who they are. And he doesn't know. I don't know. The more you think about it. So anyways, the plan was simple. Donald Marshall, who was an aspiring musician and lyricist, wrote a song called Break the Ice. In this song, there are specific hints about the cloning centers they came from, where they are, who runs them, and then the animated video for the song depicts Britney destroying this facility, which according to Marshall is a very accurate depiction, particularly the birth tubes. Okay, so
that's a real song.
This is a real song.
And that's a real video.
I'm gonna read you the lyrics here. Yeah, we can check out the video later on.
We're gonna link to the video in our.
We absolutely will,
and we'll Facebook it and tweet.
Okay, now once again, I'd like to say that he claims he's like the lyrics in this song contain specific hints about the cloning centers, where they are, and who runs them.
Let's go. What do you got?
Here's the lyrics to Break the Ice. Ooh, looks like we're alone now. You ain't got to be scared. Where you going now? I'ma have to floss on you. Let's get it blazing. We can turn the heat up if you wanna. Turn the lights down low if you wanna. Just wanna move you, but you're frozen. That's what I'm saying. Let me break the ice. Allow me to get you right. But you warm up to me, baby, I can make you feel. Boy, let me break the ice. Allow me to get you right. But you warm up to me, baby, I can make you feel. So you warming up yet?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where the hints are.
Oh, it's all over there.
I'm gonna have to floss.
It's breaking the ice.
It's in Antarctica.
Oh, could be.
Or on the moon.
Okay, so many birthing tube references. It was you got lost. This is also a real song, and this one, in my opinion, has a couple more maybe subtle hints about the whole thing. Okay, so there's this song called Mona Lisa, and here's the lyrics to Mona Lisa. Could I get you guys to do a yeah after I read these lines?
Like after every line?
So I'll be like, burr, 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 yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So she's the original.
Yeah.
She's unforgettable.
Yeah.
She wants you to know.
Yeah.
That she's been cloned.
Yeah.
It's kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
She wants you to know.
Yeah.
She's been cloned.
Yeah.
She's been cloned.
Yeah.
That bitch has been cloned.
Yeah.
Those are the lyrics to Mona Lisa.
Who does that?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears?
Yeah.
That's a Britney Spears
That's
song.
a Britney Spears song, and those are the lyrics.
She's been cloned.
It's a little more. It's a little. Yeah, like it's kind of subtle, but it's sort of a little more.
It's kind of subtle.
Right. It's a little. It's just in your face.
Cloned. Yeah, so this one is a little more obvious with the references. Anyways, ultimately the plan to break open this conspiracy via Spears' hits failed, and Donald Marshall just took to reveal everything in a more straightforward fashion. He updated his Facebook with this stuff.
He wrote an ebook.
In an ebook, yeah.
It's got an email list.
So yeah, that's the strange case of Donald Marshall and Britney Spears and the Illuminati plus cloning murders in the center with Queen Elizabeth.
God, you gotta catch your names for these things, man. Hey, Andrew.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Charlie.
What are we drinking? What are we drinking?
We are drinking Grandpa Jim's Pecan Pie Porter. Woo! Yeah, let me just read the snappy bit on the back here.
Damn
that is
that, Grandpa.
once again, I was like, this can is just cantastic, and it has the added bonus of being 6%.
Sweet can.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna read what's on the back here
Read
because
it.
this is actually pretty funny here. This beer is dedicated to the two most important men in our lives. Oh, our fathers.
man.
Isn't that nice? Coincidentally, both named Jim. They both also enjoy dark beer. And we took our fantastic beer base, added loads of pecan, maple, vanilla, and gray ham to create...
Gray ham?
Gray ham.
Graham.
To create a delicious porter mimicking a delightful fall treat. Brewed exclusively with Origin malting base malt and Red Shed specialty malt. This beer highlights the beauty of Alberta malts and the wonders of experimental brewing. Yeah, and that's done by the beautiful people here in Alberta at Outcast Brewing.
Outcast Brewing.
Yeah, so good.
Good job.
All that talking about malt, though, I'm like, you guys ready to pop down to the malt shop and
Actually, yeah.
just get 2 straws and 1 cup?
This is delicious.
We're gonna need 3 straws, 1 cup.
2 straws, you're out.
I'll share.
Just Greg and I at the malt shop. So we might as well address this. We had a technical. We're recording late tonight, and we had a technical glitch, and we lost a little bit, but that's fine.
Yep.
It's okay. So if some,
You know what? We just so happened to make a clone of the first time we recorded
We'll
it.
be fine,
So
yeah.
it'll be just as goodish.
It'll be so
Be
good.
clonerific.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys my clone joke?
What?
But how I don't want to tell you because you'll copy it.
It's slightly less good every time you tell it.
Well, it's like a clone. You can only do it so many times and just gets shitty.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
That was my joke.
So that's the thing. So speaking of which, so I'm gonna have to get the guys here. I'm gonna tell this. We're gonna go through this stuff here again. And sometimes I write jokes into the things I've made here. So I need you guys to laugh like it's the fresh first time you've ever heard it.
Dude, you have no idea how good I am at fake laughing.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 7 episodes.
Oh, what? So our second our second topic tonight is the unicorns of North Korea, the North Korea-nicorns.
우리 아빠 손가락은 어디에 있나요?
여기에
안녕하세요.
I'm gonna apologize in advance here. I'm gonna mispronounce.
Are they overworked and hungry?
Oh man, I I always mispronounce as it is, but this is gonna be. I'm not. Yeah, okay. In December of 2012, North Korean state media announced the discovery of an actual lair of unicorns who were kept for riding by an ancient Korean king. His name was Tong Myung. Now, according to the English language release, Korean archaeologists reconfirmed that the lair in Pyongyang was a secret stable for Tong Myung, founder of the Goguryeo Kingdom. This ancient kingdom spanned the Korean peninsula and went well into what is now China, Russia. Where's all the vodka? Yeah, I saw, man, my Russian accent. Where is all vodka? Man, I used to play at a place and there was this nice old guy that came in. He was a Russian guy and he would order vodka by the pint. Yeah, no joke. Right here in Edmonton, it was amazing.
Sure.
And they'd be like, that'll be $48. Here you go. Don't tell AGLC. And he'd just sit down, drink it, and walk out of the
They
end of
would
the
give
night.
it to him in a pint glass.
They give it to him in like a Guinness pint glass. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, nice guy.
That's crazy.
Where is all vodka?
It's just water.
Yeah. Coincidentally, the discovery of this unicorn lair and its ties to the ancient Korean king Tong Myung unfolded very close to the new leader Kim Jong-un taking over after his father had passed away. Along with the discovery of the unicorn lair, there was the burial site of Dangun, a Korean demigod. This demigod was the child of a god and a bear turned woman and was involved in the running of the initial Korean kingdom. So a god and a bear who turned into a woman had a baby, and that baby made a kingdom.
And they were more focused on the unicorns?
Yeah, I know. That's exactly
They just
what I thought.
glossed
too.
over the bear?
Totally.
Bear lady?
The bear thing. And I mentioned this earlier too. So have you guys seen, I already asked this. Have you guys seen that movie Night Watch and Day Watch?
Still no.
There's these Russian sci-fi movies from like the early 2000s. They're really not any good. I'd heard about them and I'm like, I'm going to check this out. And in it, one of the main characters is like, I'm the bear and I have the superpowers and I'm a glorious bear. Where is vodka? And the whole movie, neither of the two of them, he never ever turns into a bear. He talks about turning into a bear the entire time. He's got these magical bear powers. He never actually turns into a bear. And it's like, shut the hell up about the bear stuff if you're not going to turn into a bear. Anyways. So that's really the only thing I was able to take away.
You can only turn into a bear when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
That's right.
Quick, everybody look away.
He's up. We need the bear. No one look.
Are you doing it? I can't see you.
Yeah. I'm doing something else when you're not looking. The Kim family has had a number of supernatural claims made about them by the government-sponsored media. So this unicorn, people are like the North Korea-nicorns and the bear god person. That's not that crazy because they've had all kinds of like claims made about them. I don't mean to suggest it's crazy. Sorry about that. Was that opinion time?
Little tie-in with some ancient aliens.
Yeah. So one of the things that the media reported on was that when Kim Jong-il died, there was a horrible snowstorm that came to a halt, and there was a glowing red sky the minute he died. He also had, as reported, super speed, super strength, super voice, super choreography skills, super glasses, and super taste in jumpers.
Man, I used to love his super dance breaks.
This goes along with Kim Jong-un's reputation of being a scientific, technological, and military genius, as well as being able to fluently speak 6 languages. Yeah. The unicorn announcement was coincidentally made very close to the same time that the North Koreans announced plans to work on long-range rockets that would be able to hit targets anywhere on the planet and potentially be used for space exploration.
No, it was run with unicorn juice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I thought just a magical unicorn sauce.
It's science.
And the bear god sauce. Yeah. Who never turns into a bear. So yeah, they were like, okay, we have these intercontinental rockets, and maybe we're going to go into space. But look, we also have unicorns and bear people.
Bear women.
Yeah, bear women.
Ooh.
See, bear women.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna go check out the bear women.
Touche, good sir.
Yeah.
Touche.
That's just. You sure that wasn't just translated poorly?
It could have been they were bear women, or they could have been talking about Sherwood Park, where bears literally transform into hairy women. Buzzing, got him again.
Sounds like you got some experience.
No,
The first time you said it so confidently, and this time you're like, yeah.
oh, zinged 'em. Take that, Sherwood Park. Yeah, that's an odd one. Trent Wilkie made a hilarious joke during our Centurion, and I'm like, going in the phone, nailed it. And it was, if a werewolf bites a house, does the house become a warehouse?
Love it.
Don't ever change, please.
Never change.
No,
never
never will.
change. You're beautiful.
All right.
Okay, time for the
That brings us up to the Mandela Minute.
yeah.
Mandela Minute.
Sorry, I was drinking when you looked at me like that.
No, you're all right.
Okay, to explain what the Mandela effect is.
What is it?
It is the belief that there are two parallel universes converging together, and there are memories that people are either being transferred with that parallel universe and have the memories from their universe, and the people that are here have the memories from this universe, and they do not align, such as when Nelson Mandela died back in the 80s in jail. Or people remember him dying back in 2014 in having a ridiculous sign language guy.
Or I remember an "Of the World" at the end of that Queen song, and Charlie's like, "No, it ends with We Are the Champions."
That's right.
Yep, that's because he's from the
I'm from here.
shit universe.
I'm also in the shit universe.
Oh, what? And I'm the only one from the Radiverse?
This is the current universe.
It's the one you're in and still alive, so...
I just want to go home.
So anyway, enough of that. How's your... I don't know if you guys are well-versed in American history or even,
Nope.
history in
History.
general.
I barely even knew history.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay, anyway. Can either of you gentlemen tell me who Eli Whitney was?
Yes. The inventor of the cotton
Cotton gin.
gin.
The cotton gin.
Yeah, I said it first.
Yeah, it was obviously...
Sweet. Charles, good.
Now, can any of you gentlemen tell me whether he was African-American or Caucasian?
No, because I did terrible at history.
Well, yeah, we've already established
Yeah, and
that.
I don't see race. I just see the human. I just see the human color.
Well, if you were to throw out a guess.
I see love. I feel like it was a black guy. I remember that. Yeah. Yes.
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 And, well, since Charlie has no idea.
50-50, so I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah, you got to be white or black. Those are the only two colors.
According to this story. All right. Come on.
Well, unfortunately, Andrew, you are wrong. He was white.
That's
What?
right.
And very well educated and, well, invented the cotton gin. Or
Well, I was going to say if it was a white guy, I'd be like he stole it from a black guy and claimed it as his own. He's like,
I
yoink.
didn't realize
Thank
this was
you.
opinion time.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. My bad. Sorry about that.
Most people remember him being black. That's millennials, and actually, like I myself, I remember in school being taught that he was black.
Yeah, I'm getting I don't know if you like a black vibe from the story from the remembery, but I do. Yeah, totally. This is awkward. Let's take this part out. I feel weird saying that. No, but it's true. It's true.
totally staying
That's true.
Black vibe.
I'm getting a black vibe.
Wow.
Well, I'm just being honest with how I remember this.
Anyway, I also remember being taught that he was black, but I think that has to do a lot with the George Washington Carver, who had a lot to do with peanuts.
Yes.
And
Which my biggest learning on that is from the historical documentation of Clone High.
peanut arms, you know.
TV taught me everything.
Clone High was so good.
Yeah, man. So good.
Amazing.
Have you guys heard my joke about clones?
Are you a clone, Andrew?
No,
Because your jokes just keep getting worse and worse.
Start calling you Clone Drew.
Shutting down programs. My iPad actually did shut down at the same time. And I've made copies of myself. Yeah. Like I straight up have living copies of myself.
So one of you's at home with the kids right now?
Yeah. Just myself.
Just making peanut butter sandwiches on...
I have one of me in bed, and sometimes we practice kissing, and we, practice holding hands. It's fine. It's fine. It's a clone. Yep.
If you can't love yourself, who can you love?
No, totally. Other than our last topic before opinion time here.
Yeah. That there? That's the old switcheroo.
Now, since we are so close to the... just a sec here. Just one scoocher. All right. Since we're so close to the Super Bowl, which I never understood this, and I never really pay attention. I'm not a
super guy.
I'm not a super guy. I'm not a bowl guy. I'm a lame plate guy. So Super Bowl's just right out.
Paper plates.
Yeah. So, Greg, you're an NFL guy.
Yeah, I am a Raiders fan.
You're a Raiders fan. Yeah. Charlie, you're...
I'm a sports entertainment guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, I always get, like, and I don't get caught up in it, but there's people that are like, oh, I wonder what channel the Super Bowls are on.
Isn't the Super Bowl on every channel when it happens?
Well,
no.
Isn't that it?
It's definitely like...
Are there still channels?
I think channels, like, fight for the right to broadcast it and all that kind of stuff, but there's commercials, there's shows, there's all kinds of crap that happens, and I'll be honest, like, I'm like, oh, I wonder what trailer they're going to show for the new season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, like, I don't really, care about the...
You don't care about
are the Raiders? I don't even know who's in it, to be honest.
Nobody knows at this point. They're doing the championships next weekend.
Oh, well.
Well, actually, by the time this episode comes out, the Super Bowl will be on the 3rd. So it'll be 2 days after this episode comes out.
So you'll know by then.
So if anybody wants my prediction, I'll give it to them now.
Go.
What is it? We're
Hot take.
gonna go Saints versus the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Saints and Chiefs, you heard it here. Who's the winner?
Oh, I can't say the Chiefs because they're in the same division as the Raiders. But their quarterback is so good. I think he's gonna.
What's the point spread?
There's nobody knows yet.
Charlie, what?
I actually just learned how to do point spread this last year. Man, it took me like 3 months before I sat there and was like, oh, I'm an idiot.
My entire learning about how to do that kind of stuff comes from the television documentary, The League. Yep.
I fucking love that show.
That's how I told you. TV teaches me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Pocket Dog?
Yeah. So anyways, with the sports puck thing, sports Super Bowls, Horley, Super Bowls in mind, I thought we'd discuss an interesting conspiracy theory from the world of completely legitimate professional athleticism. Okay, so Jim Hellwig, and that is an amazing name, and okay, Jim Hellwig, and I have to say his name again because this is going to come back in the end here, but Jim Hellwig.
Oh, that's a good name.
One more time.
Hellwig, aka the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, my personal favorite as a young bucker, champion of the WWF. WWE, WCW, WCCW, and www. Charlie's got a nice can.com is one of the most famous and iconic wrestlers of all time. He rose to fame in the late 1980s and became a stapleton of professional wrestling through the 1990s. His energy in the ring was electrifying, and some say he is only eclipsed by the jukebox guy. What's his name again?
The jukebox guy.
Frankie Valli?
No.
Honky Tonk Man. The guitar guy.
I'm going to try that one more time. His energy in the ring was electrifying, and some say he is only eclipsed by...
The Fonz.
The Honky Tonk Man.
Hey,
Hulk Hogan.
Come on, man. The Fonz always beat the jukebox.
right. He hit the shit out of the
Bam.
jukebox.
Cool it.
Now we can't cut that first part.
We are still going. Now I'm gonna be terrified of this.
Don't worry, I'm keeping my eye on it. Don't worry.
The Ultimate Warrior was, in many ways, the end of an era. He brought an end to Hulkamania at WrestleMania 6, which I think was in Toronto in 1990. Toronto. And he was one of the first wrestlers to have a very public feud, like outside of the octagon.
Outside of
the
circle square.
Outside of the circle square, with people like Vince McMahon,
Mr. McMahon,
Hulk Hogan, and Jake Roberts. Is there another Jake Roberts, or is that Jake
the Snake?
Yeah. Okay, so there's not other Jake Roberts in wrestling. Yeah,
Well, there might be, but they just don't call him that.
They don't call themselves. Yeah, it's weird to see it's just Jake Roberts. Where's the Snake?
Sans Snake.
Yeah.
He was cool
He's
with
like
the
the
snake.
The snake's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
The snake's fine. The snake's like, you, sir, are super. And Jake's like, don't you take sides, Snake, or I won't feed you those puppies.
Wait, didn't we talk about Jake the Snake during the Centurion?
Yeah, his snake.
Yeah, we
talked about
totally
his snake.
called the snake the wrong name.
We talked about Jake's snake, Virgil.
We didn't.
No.
Somebody called it Virgil, and I'm
What?
like, who's Virgil? And all of a sudden it was like, lynch mob. You don't know who Virgil is?
I didn't know who Virgil was.
Bastards.
I knew who Virgil was.
Yeah.
Quinn was wrong.
Quinn?
I'm pretty sure it was Quinn who made that call.
Fucking Quinn.
Somebody was wrong. Yeah.
But if you want to hear it, go back and listen to the Centurion.
Damn that Quinn. Friend of the show. Quinn.
That's right. Just wrong about these facts.
Very important stuff.
Actually, he was on fire in that. It was great. It was fantastic. The story about the Tim Hortons cup out the window is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and I'm so glad that he
I
recounted.
was there for that story twice to
Man.
hear it and
See
to
it.
live it. Yeah.
It's amazing. In 1991, he briefly disappeared from professional. Sorry, we're back to the Ultimate Warrior now.
Yeah, Quinn?
In 1991, Quinn Clark, who was about 7 years old at the time, was caught masturbating. In 1991, he briefly disappeared from professional. Sorry, again, we're talking about the Ultimate Warrior here. Briefly disappeared from. I'm going to take a clean take at this. Okay,
Go.
In 1991, the Ultimate Warrior briefly disappeared from professional wrestling, apparently due to contract disputes, and then returned without much publicity to WrestleMania in 1992. So he was gone the whole season, came back to WrestleMania 61 in 1992.
61. Ooh,
I don't know how these...
They happen every year, just like the Super Bowl.
So upon returning, it was noted that his age, height, weight, voice, physique, hair, and energy seemed a little different. Rumors immediately began to surface that the original Ultimate Warrior had died of warrior failure due to steroid abuse in 1991, or had suffered an aneurysm due to the little arm tassels that he wore.
They were so tight.
So tight. Yeah. My parents used to tell me, they're like, don't do your shoes up so tight, your feet are going to just get, like, you're going to
fall off.
Yeah, you're going to fall off. We're walking around on stumps. And so he'd been replaced with a lookalike. This theory is odd. This is like full of like, there's dead people, there's betrayal, there's weird politics.
It's the Attitude Era, brother.
Yeah, man.
That was way before.
Oh,
the
that is,
Attitude Era.
way before.
This begat the Attitude Area.
Yeah.
Area. One of the replacement theories focused on the modern day warrior or the Texas tornado, Kerry von Erich, whose father, Fritz von Erich, that's got to be a fake name, Fritz,
The Von Erichs of the Von Erichs.
on the Von Erichs, of the president of the WCCW.
They were a prominent wrestling family. Yeah.
So Fritz von Erich and his son Erich von Erich, or sorry, Kerry von Erich. Anyways, Kerry von Erich was a very successful wrestler under his own characters, but had suffered a debilitating accident in the mid-1980s that left him with an amputated foot and a severe addiction problem. Did you know that Kerry von Erich had an amputated foot?
Did not know.
Yeah,
the
he wore a
history.
prosthetic foot that whole time. So anyways, his characters were like doing well, but then the Ultimate Warrior suddenly showed up in WCCW, and Eric's character was gone, and they're like, who's this? Also, and this is kind of a bummer here, but sadly, Kerry von Erich committed suicide in 1993, just a few months after the debut of the alleged new Ultimate Warrior. Yeah. Interestingly, the Ultimate Warrior made a second unannounced retirement after the return to WrestleMania in 1992. This second hiatus went from 1992 to 1996. So people are like, the original guy died of warrior failure. Then the second guy shot himself, sadly. And then they took a break. So, yeah. Another theory is that Richard, the Renegade, Wilson, had taken on the mantle. Wilson, who started off with the Japanese wrestling promotion company called War, eventually ended up in the WCW. He was a bit smaller, younger, less dramatic, but definitely looked the part of the Ultimate Warrior. So he had the change in height, voice, weight, physique, hair, energy, blah, blah, blah. And then, once again, sadly, Wilson committed suicide in 1999 after his wrestling star began to fade, and it appeared that the WCW wasn't as interested in him as they once had been. So his character was like fading out, and people were like, well, it's because he's being both. It's impossible. And they never fought each other. That's what the article said anyways. Supporters of the Switcheroo point out that years later, it was revealed that the legal name Jim Hellwig had ceased to exist. So this person was legally gone, not dead, not claimed or proclaimed dead or whatever it is, but they were like, this name doesn't exist. There's no legal copy. There's no legal person of this alive. The person who had gone under that name had changed their name to the mono-handle Warrior. So no first name, no surname, just Warrior. Warrior. A third theory put forward is that for whatever reason, Jim Hellwig, the Warrior, had not died, but he had taken a number of years off, and his character was so popular that they brought in replacements. Like, we'll get a sub, and the pressure of being the sub, the pressure of the Warrior drove you crazy, and you're like, it's too much.
Warrior madness.
Yeah, Warrior madness.
Warrior
You
spirit.
got the Warrior fever, and you just did yourself in. Speaking of doing yourself in, Hellwig died of a heart attack in 2014 at age 54.
It's true, he did.
Right after getting inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And then showing up the next night and doing a really touching retirement speech on Raw. It was very sad.
That is sad.
But very nice at the same time.
Well, here's to him.
Cheers to the Warrior. Did he go under the Hellwig for the final speech? Cheers.
He was the Warrior.
No, but did he in his speech, was he like, I'm Warrior, or my name is James Hellwig the Fourth?
He didn't say.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't come out and say, hello, my name is James Hellwig.
Did he ever talk?
Yeah, he talked a lot.
Okay.
He gave speeches. I just said he gave a retirement speech.
Well, we're not all wrestler fans here.
I just told you speech, though.
I don't know where we are. What?
You've had too much Grandpa Jim's.
Okay, then.
6%.
Guys, do you know what time it is?
Oh, shit. You know what time it is?
Yay. It's opinion time.
Time.
Okay.
Opinion time, opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time. Opinion time, opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time.
First off, before we get into this, during the YEG crossover Centurion, I got labeled as Alec Jones by one of you sons of bitches because I'm a little skeptical of, and it might not have been one of you two. It might have been
don't think
somebody
it was
in the
either
room.
of us.
It might have been. It was someone in the room.
I'm looking at Greg. Greg's looking at me. We don't know who you're talking about.
Like,
Because
was it me?
I'm a little skeptical of the ridiculous urban myth that Andre the Giant would regularly drink 156 beers
He was a big
plus
guy.
in a single sitting.
Have
He
you
was a
seen
big
his
guy.
hand compared to a can of
I know.
beer?
I have. I've seen the picture. Okay,
His
so
hand compared to Mean Gene's face.
I've been looking at this. I was going to do a thing about it, but I'll just skip right to it here. So, number one, on David Letterman, he confessed he's like, I drank 99 beers on occasion, and everybody burst out laughing, including David Letterman, who's like probably like drank 99 beers himself that night. I personally think he was saying, I drink a lot, an enormous amount. I've got a drinking problem.
Wait, is that your Andre
that's my Andre the Giant.
He was more of a French guy, you know. Right?
I drink a lot. I've got a problem.
You've watched The Princess Bride. Come on.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, and that movie is
Anybody
not,
want a peanut?
It's not very sportsmanlike.
number 2.
Not bad.
The source of the 156 plus beers. Like the time that they're like, oh man, I'd seen him drink 156 beers all the time. The source of that is this came out after he died. It's retired wrestler Mike Graham, and Mike Graham's interview on Legends of Wrestling. So we've got a guy who probably had his head kicked in repeatedly for years, and he's like, yeah, one time I saw him drink 156 Brazilian beers. And everybody just takes it. They're like, 156 beers? So let's just break this down for a second, okay? More so, okay, 156 12-ounce cans of beer. That's 2,496 fluid ounces. That is the equivalent of 5 30 racks in one 6-pack. That doesn't sound like that much. That's the equivalent of one keg plus 32 more cans of beer. That's almost 20 gallons, which is what a giant elephant drinks on like a daily basis. Or we're going to use the Cayley Cardinal scale here. 156 beers would be 32 bottles of wine. So I get that he's 7'4", but there is no way he could drink 32 bottles of wine. Like that's an impossible amount to drink.
I buy 100. I buy 99.
99, sure, but we're talking almost double that.
Well, Wade Boggs has been like, I don't know if you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but they do that Wade Boggs flight where they drink 70 beers.
See, even 70,
and even he admits to it. He's like, I don't know, it was around 75.
Yeah, and that's probably going to kill you if you do it.
But he was not Andre the Giant size.
Yeah,
that's right.
But he's still.
So I think imagine if he admits it and people were like, we saw him do it.
So
I could see 100 for sure.
On Letterman, Andre himself said 99 beers.
He's like, I've drank 99 beers.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I don't doubt that.
I believe that.
But
I don't know about 156.
156 is a lot.
That's a lot.
No, that's
I mean, then again, those guys like to party.
That isn't partying. That's a coma. Like you're done.
But if you're that size and you have a drinking problem, I think you're.
I think if you're that
you've
size,
definitely got a drinking problem.
And you've got a tolerance.
I guess it depends on the amount of time too.
Maybe.
Like over the weekend, I drank 156 bottles of beer. Be like, in the past 6 hours, I drank 156 bottles of beer. Where's my Super Nintendo?
I drank 100 ounces in 100 minutes once.
Oh, and even that. Were you drunk at the end of that?
I had indulged in some other substances beforehand.
Ah, I see.
So it's not that I was drunk. I was well lubricated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Charlie, you got out of it twice.
Didn't get out of it.
You got out of it.
Someone had to fly the ship
Charlie, thanks for doing such a wonderful job.
and make sure that
Thanks for bailing on us in our time of need.
that we came out of it with a product.
I don't want to hear any of this. You didn't eat the candy corn crap anymore now because not doing the
What are you talking
Centurion.
about? I've eaten everything you've produced here on this show. You're like, hey, here's some garbage rolled around in the floor, and now it's got ice cream on it. Enjoy.
Here's an egg with peanut butter. And
Yeah.
That was so gross.
But we digress.
But anyway,
We do digress. Sorry.
so I don't think it was me or Charlie who called you.
No, we didn't call you Alex
Alex
Jones.
Jones.
Somebody did. I'm going to
Captain
track that
Infowars.
person down.
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I'll let you know.
Label.
You don't yell half as much, or even near as much, anywhere near as much.
No, nor sweat.
Nope.
Near as much. I'm getting up there.
Well.
I'm 156 cans of sweat.
I also just realized that I said
32
that
bottles of sweat.
I drank 100 ounces of beer and smoked some marijuana. Don't do either of those things together. That's not a good idea.
You're fine.
That's the strikeout.
You seem pretty composed.
But that's like, before it was legal, that's kind of was my jam.
So you're a boss.
I'm ready
You got
for it. I'm
No
just
problem.
saying, don't do it.
Yeah, so what he's saying is ease your way into it.
Yeah.
Start with a small amount and work your way up.
All right, so our famous scale of 1 to 5 seems to be completely kibosh.
Get rid of that scale.
So let's just say, yes, I agree. Maybe, no, I don't.
That sounds perfect.
Okay. All right, Charlie, do you remember what our first theory was today?
Yeah, it was about clones.
Okay.
Clone High.
The Illuminati clones
Illuminati clone.
with Britney Spears
With Britney Spears.
and who
That
else
other
was there?
guy.
And Queen Elizabeth
Justin Timberlake.
and Justin Timberlake.
Timberlake.
Okay, Greg, do you remember the second theory?
The North Korea-nicorns?
The North Korean corns.
Corns.
Okay, and our Mandela minute was Eli Whitney a black guy or a white guy?
Yes.
Yeah, and then our last theory, Charlie?
The Warrior. Who was he? Was he two guys?
The
or one
Switcheroo.
guy?
Was he
Switcheroo?
three? Yeah. Okay, so Greg, what do you think on the clone Illuminati surplus specials with Queen Elizabeth and?
Well, nowadays they're really calling out like a lot of celebrities for being clones. Like
Calling him out.
They're well,
Yeah,
because
clone.
well, like slightly not to switch over to this, but it's like with the Ultimate Warrior, he's like a bit taller, maybe a bit fatter, maybe aged a little bit more, like because that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But like the one that I thought was really funny was Dave Chappelle.
Man.
Back in the day, he used to be really skinny and tall, but now he's kind of like buff and chubby, and it does nothing to do
Yeah,
that.
that's called working out.
Well, that has nothing to do that he has a farm and now is a father of, I believe, a couple children.
Yeah, he got that dad
he got
bod.
that hot
That he
dad
knows
bod.
about.
So, I'm gonna put this one as I want to believe because I think it would be a really great story, but I just don't.
You don't think Queen Elizabeth runs an Illuminati clone center?
No,
Charlie, what do you think?
I think it's more like one of those blood banks that
Yeah.
bulk,
I want to be on board with the clone part, but I don't like all the fucking rules they had about cloningness and how like you can have one clone, but if you have a second clone made of you, that
It's
second
dumber.
clone's going to be stupider.
But it's like a joke. Have you guys heard my clone joke? Like it that's the thing. It's kind of makes sense if you only have a finite amount of like cloning material.
No, because you've told that joke, and anytime you've told that joke to us, because we've heard it before,
Yeah.
but to someone else who hasn't heard it before, it's still going to be that same joke.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
fair
still
enough.
the same combination of words or
sure.
genes.
Yeah.
So I like the cloning idea, but I don't like the rules. I think the rules and then the weirdness with the song stuff, except for the Britney Spears song, which is pretty dead on.
No, the first song that was part of the conspiracy.
Oh, that totally was telling us that we're exactly where their main clone factory is underneath Antarctica. I don't know how you didn't get that. It wasn't vague at all.
I'm a flossing, my ass a rubbing on ya. I don't know how they thought that was the song.
Under the
when,
ice.
When clearly, break the ice.
Break the ice because it's underneath Antarctica.
Okay,
gotta break that ice.
But Mona Lisa has do you guys remember? It's kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
She wants you to know.
Yeah.
She's been cloned.
See, now that's like that song is the clone of the original
I guess
clone, which was
so.
that first song.
Yeah,
And that's why
like
it's a
toxic,
little bit more.
Oh.
It's a little toxic.
Toxic is a great
So
song.
I'd like to believe, but I don't play with all those rules.
Okay.
Those rules don't do it for me.
I feel like the clone center of the concept of very wealthy people having like a body made for
Backups.
them backups are they're like I've got one for parts and one for joy,
Farts.
for joy. Yeah, one for farts. Because to be honest, if I had the money, like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I got a baby at home, and if something was like, if they were like, he's got this horrible genetic disease and we'll never find a whatever, and be like, but we, thankfully you gave us like $100,000 when he was born, and we made like a copy in a petri dish, and we can just grow you a new heart valve. That's got a lot of like, yep. I can see that.
Do they have to grow it alongside your current one?
No, what I'm saying is like say
or do they grow it when you need it?
here's how these things start. Like say a baby's born and like the you've got the placenta, you've got all this stuff. It is I don't want to get this shocking the amount of stuff that comes out of when a baby's born. It's not just a baby coming out of there. So say they took a scoop of the baby juice, put it in a little cup, and be like, we're going to save this just in case something happens later on. 65 years later, this kid needs whatever, like some kind of heart valve, whatever. And they're like, yep, no problem. We'll just give us like a week. We'll print you a new
3D print you a new heart valve,
a new thorax. I'm just trying to think of body parts that aren't female. I'm having a hard time with that. I'm like, sternum. We'll get you a new sternum.
Dude, we both have most body parts.
But immediately I'm like, we'll get you a new set of fallopian tubes.
Yeah, we'll get you a new set of fallopian tubes.
So they're like, okay, you need some fallopian tubes. We'll print you some. And I'm like, yeah, that's an interesting idea. So they don't have a clone per se, but they've got like an envelope full of baby juice stuck in a freezer somewhere, and they're like, this just in case. But then someone gets a hold of that, and they're like, they're making clones.
They're making copies.
Because, man, one of the theories that we'll talk about, probably not this season, but next year for sure, is about pennies and how it's like taking a scan of everybody's fingers every time they touch it.
And that's why they got rid of them?
That's why they got rid of them. They got everybody's fingers. Yeah, or
there's new fingers
now.
New fingers
but now they got your phone. They've got so many better ways of.
That's fair.
They ain't
That's
got me.
fair.
My phone's too old and busted for that.
Yeah, man.
No.
And your fingerprints are all gone because they got burned off in that horrible fire.
Maybe they're just like misfigured.
Yeah,
It's pretty much flippers at this point.
just call me Oswald Cobblepot.
Actually, like
Something to laugh about. Jesus, Andrew.
I'm not gonna lie. If I did lose a hand, a pair of tongs like to replace them for sure.
Having flippers with tongs or whatever,
Not so bad.
not so bad. Not so bad.
You can sanitize that stuff.
Totally. Just take them off, run them through the dishwasher, snap them back on.
A little bit of bleach.
Yeah. Cool. So,
Number 2?
But just like one of those funny things that made me chuckle. I'm like, I can't believe we don't remember the color of this man's skin.
yeah. Well,
Also,
Which is a ridiculous
it's an
thing in the
American
first
thing
place,
too.
but, like,
so
yeah.
I don't know. In our history books, they weren't really well illustrated.
No, true enough.
Yeah. And we get weird.
We were more worried about the Canadian Shield. And
Yeah,
whatever.
we get like we all grew up in cities in Alberta or
Stuff like
No,
that.
I was born in
yeah.
Edmonton and grew up out east.
So if anyone's listening from outside of the country, it's like Alberta, Canada is all divided up into provinces, and it's great. We learn a lot about Canadian history.
We learned a lot about royal geese,
Yeah,
Yep.
and the migration patterns
what
of geese and stuff like that.
family they came from, and
But it's weird how we get inundated with a lot of American stuff, like Eli Whitney, and we're like, yep, and you kind of feel like you should or might know, but you're like, you're familiar with the sounds of the words, but you really have no idea. Like a cotton gin, I don't know what the hell that is.
It separates the cotton
Just
from
we
like
just
all the
literally
thorns and
just said that.
from the
cotton,
gin.
from the cotton plant.
yeah, and then
So
you have
where
a drink
does the
afterwards.
gin come in?
I was just the name.
Where's
bro.
all the gin gone?
Super fancy Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, where's the gin?
Where's
everyone?
my tonic?
I need some gin.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like I said, it's got to do with the Industrial Revolution. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's kind of important to us.
It is. It's important to everybody, Yeah, and
What was the third?
the Ultimate Warrior Switcheroo.
WWE has gone on and done that thing before.
I think it's WWF now.
No, it's the other way around.
That was a little joke.
The World Wildlife.
You don't joke about that shit, man.
Federation. I don't know. Motherfuckers get sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not an unprecedented thing. Maybe at the time it was a lot earlier, but they've repeated that trick a couple of times
They have.
with fake Diesel and fake Razor Rummel.
Yep.
Hard to fake that with a guy like Andre the Giant.
It's true. They did. There's
not-
no
Yeah.
Fondre the Fiant.
But it's not so hard to fake a guy who's probably wearing a wig and
Face
like a
paint.
ridiculous face paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's probably why. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
But it's nice to know that the original one didn't actually die and ended up showing up again.
Yeah.
But he may have.
No, he looks the same as from the earlier one.
But it does. But like, that's the thing is that the new Jim that showed up in 1998.
He was older than he was back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, What a crazy thing.
He got older.
Can you
Charlie, that's the thing. He got older. It's weird.
There was like more lines on his face and stuff, and he was a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
And maybe even a little bit shorter.
Maybe he was a little more hunched.
Had a different face.
Yeah, that must have been a completely different guy. You're right. I changed my mind.
No, and what it is that people age. Some people hit the age pole real hard. Some people...
Some people have been, I don't know about juicing, but like really working it all those other years, so it catches up to them,
And that's just it.
Plus taking those bumps like wrestlers take.
Oh, man. And if you're shooting up the warrior juice on a daily basis
Warrior juice.
while you're getting your spine snapped.
Combat juice.
Just, brutal.
Catches up to you.
It sure does. I don't know. Greg, what's your thoughts on that one there?
Yeah, no, like you've seen this happen how many times with characters in wrestling? Like I think there was a while there where I believed the Undertaker had been replaced,
I think maybe.
and then they brought the original guy back.
I think they were very open and honest about that, about how the original guy came back. Because then he became Kane or something.
No, Kane's his brother. It's who actually isn't his
Okay, you
brother.
guys are making fun of me for the My Little Pony thing earlier, but like right now,
No, Kane is his brother.
yeah.
Kane's his brother. But no, I remember like the Undertaker was one of my favorite wrestlers because he would climb on the top rope, walk into the middle of it, and then do like that whole like
Old school.
And then it didn't happen for the longest time. You never saw him do it,
This is hard shit.
right? Well, yeah. But like the guy also was a bit bulkier. Around the
Isaac
same height.
Yankem can't do it.
Yeah.
Isaac Yankem was Kane's early gimmick.
Oh yeah,
He was a dentist called Isaac Yankem.
that's genius.
It's tooth hurdy.
That's the time to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
It's tooth hurty.
Here's a bag, a Ziploc bag with your teeth in it. Take it to the dentist and get them to put them back in.
Better than getting your head shaved.
Yeah.
Didn't Kurt Angle do that for a while?
But that's just it. And then, so the idea of like using the Undertaker as an example, very interesting character, but that is in the new era post Hulk Hogan. So the Ultimate Warrior kind of ushered in this thing, and so so it's not hard to imagine like the individual guys like, I'm sick of this crap. My body's destroyed. I hate everything about it. I'm out of here. And they're like, fine, then we'll just get this like ripped dude who kind of looks like you to come in and jump around.
The idea is for some people,
Very
at the
valuable
time,
character.
was it was an intellectual property.
Well, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that
That's our intellectual property.
yeah. And so
You don't own that.
Well, and you can't get a new Hulk Hogan, but the Ultimate Warrior, for some reason, it's like a James Bond kind of thing where you could get someone to step into that role, and it really, the fans would be like, "Yep, okay, it's a new Ultimate Warrior." It's not a new individual guy. It's a new person to take on that role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wonder.
And do you see what I'm saying?
No, I 100% see what you're saying, but I wonder if maybe that was still the same guy.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like,
Maybe it was that guy.
they were like, look, like WrestleMania 92, let's get you in there, and then we'll bring the old guy back, who maybe, had like done something to himself where he was like getting off of all the warrior juice that he'd been shooting up his bum the entire time. That's where it goes.
So maybe it was the same guy. He just stopped doing steroids for like 5 years, and then
Yeah,
came
and they're
back
like-
a bit smaller.
And they're like, we've got this other guy that's going to fill in for you while you're
cleaned up.
gone. And then the other guy sadly like killed himself, and they're like,
Yeah.
damn it, now we got to get this other guy, because that's one of the theories is that it's not that there's been two, but that there's been multiple.
Yeah.
But then again, we're like, which universe are we in? It's a Mandela Minute thing. I came from the Hellwig universe, and you came from the Fritz von Erich universe, and Charlie's from the Renegade Wilson.
Isaac Yankem.
Yeah,
Isaac Yankem.
that's such a great porn name. Why would they waste it on wrestling? Yankem?
It's a dentist name, Andrew.
Yeah.
If my dentist's name was Yankem, I'd be like, sorry, I am going to cancel my appointment. I'm going to go see someone else. Take off that clown mask. You're freaking me out. All right, then. So I think that's enough for the episode. We will be back with
Hold, guys.
Episode 8.
Hold on.
on February 1st.
I think the thing.
Did it do it?
Oh, Charlie.
Just fucking with you this time.
I just wet myself right there. Like, you what?
It's just that it was the front ear. It was the front ear joke. You just
Sorry.
couldn't take it.
That's real funny. Real comedian there. Anyway, so we'll be back with episode 8 on February 1st, and then again on February 14th
So many times.
with our Valentine's Day special. We're gonna have some snacks,
boy.
some facts.
Give me some fucking cinnamon
Yeah.
garbage.
Oh, I can't wait. We have some special snacks.
I don't think I could make it that day.
Yeah, I don't think I could either.
I'll just do it myself. I'll have
Oh
the
wait,
snacks and-
don't we have a date?
That's right. We got a date to go see a wrestling thing.
That's nice. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. It means the world to us, and for tuning in. Our Twitter is @Is It a Conspiracy. Our Facebook group is It's a Conspiracy. Our Instagram page is It's a Conspiracy Podcast. You can get in touch with us at itsconspiracy@protonmail.com. Patreon.com
Do the Patreon thing.
/ It's a Conspiracy.
Check out the bonus shit.
and these puppies are going to starve to death if we don't get some donations. I'm
Or
just saying.
message us on any of our
Okay,
social
you're gonna have to
platforms.
show some pictures of these puppies just to prove that they exist.
Sounds good. Kylo and Ren, I'll have pictures
Kylo
up for
and
you
Ren.
right away. Yeah, and actually, if you're like, I don't want to give these guys any money and I don't really like social media, I just want to listen. One of the best things you can do for us, and it means even more of the world, is if you just like, share, subscribe, you tell a friend, you'd be like, oh, this is fun.
5 stars.
Yeah, and reviewing stuff like that is great. So if you're like, I don't really want to give these clowns money, they just spend it on beer, and they sound like idiots, and their computers don't work half the time.
Just half the time.
So,
the
yeah.
other half the time they do work though.
This is like one in 7. That's really good.
No, not even 1 in 7 because of all the specials.
Oh man, so you got a really good
You're doing
percentage
fine.
going on right now.
You're doing
We good.
absolutely
Law of
fantastic.
averages. That was bound to happen.
I've always said, yeah, you're doing good.
You've always said that every time he walks into my house and he says, "Hey man, you're doing good."
You're doing good.
You're doing
Charlie.
good.
But yeah, so thanks so much, and take care.
Thanks for coming.
See you next time.
Bye.
It's a conspiracy!
Woo!
Okay. Oh God.
Did we do it for real this time?
Yeah.
You guys want to try it again?
do a quick double check.
Next time we'll really get it.